Hi, good afternoon. So I've been over today. I've clearing all the boat out and give it a good wash down because I've got that Sea Angling Classic starting soon. So just trying to make it look a bit nice. But I'm going to try and get this inside. It's just amazing how much stuff you accumulate. I mean, just look at this down here. I've just taken 3 rods out of there, and in here, I mean, underneath here is just literally loaded with stuff. So I've got all these lures, and a lot of this stuff I'm not going to use down there. I think my target really for the day is going to be, you know, I think I'm going to really try and practice on the smooth hounds and the taupe, but I'm just going to go through and get all this stuff out and just see what I got under there. And you know, there's loads of stuff I try and find when I'm out there, and I know it's in here, but it's the same as anything, you know, you just keep storing and storing stuff away, and yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. So anyway, let's start to go through it. I've got some traces already made up here, so I've got some bream ones that I already had done, and what I do is obviously I'm a builder, so we use Celotex insulation, so I just wrap my traces around that. It just makes it really easy and convenient, not stops the hooks going everywhere. So I've got a few of my taupe rigs already rigged up there, and a smooth hound one, so I'm just going to go through and see what I need and what I don't need. Right, I know what I am going to need down on this Solent is these heavy 2-pound weights, because the tide is absolutely going to be ripping down there. I fished it last year and it was like 4 or 5 knot drift. So if you want to hold bottom, you're going to need at least one of these, probably 2 of these. So it's not going to be a pleasant fishing trip. Also, what I got in here, I did a little video of it last year, but I've got in here, which is always great, and I know the black bream like it, is this vacuum sealed, salted and oiled lug, and you can see that is just dripping in oil, and that'll last forever, that. So I've always got that under the deck just in case, you know, so you're never going to run out of bait. So I just keep that in that Tupperware dish, and that's yeah, just to tip off for the bream. They love that. I'm trying not to fall down this hole. The dog keeps getting in the way, but slowly going through it now. What I carry under here as well is I've always got a spare anchor and a coil of rope, brand new coil of rope, so if ever I lose my anchor while I'm out there, I can just connect that to, just as a safety aspect really. You don't want to be drifting around, especially if you're near the coast or near some rocks or whatever, so you can always throw that down. So that's under there, so I'll keep that in there. Also, what I got, I've only used it once, but I'll make sure it's charged all up. I've got a USB, it's what's the dog going to eat? It's a aerator, so if I get my live crabs and things like that, I can keep them alive in there, probably in my fish box. So that's just a aerator. I don't even know if it's got any battery in it, so probably wants charging up. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, so I've got that, which is handy just to keep the crabs alive, and whatever other bait I've got that I'm using on the day. If I get some fresh mackerel, I'll keep them alive. Another important thing for me to take, because I'm type 1 diabetic, is this little pack here. So in here I've got dextrose in case I get hypo, which are quite important, and obviously my insulin that I inject. I've just got a couple of headache tablets, charger leads, phone leads, a little bit of chocolate in there in case I get ill while I'm at sea. Oh, the dogs are fighting. So yeah, very important, and I always keep that in like a waterproof Tupperware dish. And yeah, I've got a flotation suit here, but I doubt I'm going to need it in the middle of June, but it's always handy to have in case you get wet or fall over or something. At least I'll have something warm to put on, so I always store that under the cabin. Smells a bit funky, but we'll leave that out just to dry for a bit. So here I've got like a tackle box, and in here I've got sort of hooks, weights, muppets, all sorts of beads, swivels, and just general rig making stuff that, you know, that I might need. I always keep that on the boat, so that can go back down under there. The trouble is I'm starting to go through this stuff, and I think, well, I'm not going to need that, I'm not going to need that, but you know, in reality everything I've got in here I'm going to need, but I'm desperately trying to lose some weight in the hull here, but I'm taking stuff out and then I'm putting stuff back, thinking, oh well, yeah, I might need that. I mean, obviously this is 150 mono, which I'm going to use for both the taupe and the smooth hound. I've got some £100 mono here, which is like a leader. I've got my 250 gear here. I won't need that, but that's for my congering, but it don't really take up much room. But yeah, I'm desperately trying to strip stuff out, and I'm slowly putting it all back in, but at least it'll be a little bit more organised. I've got some rigs here that Mike Cave made me quality time fishing. A really nice guy. He's going to supply me with some bait up there on the day each day and make me some rigs up, but I've just noticed these, I haven't even tried these. He gave these to me a while ago, and haven't even tried them out, so I've already got these ones made up, but Mike's local to that area up there, and a really nice guy, and yeah, I say it's good of him to supply the bait, because last year I took a cool box full of bait up with me, and it was just a waste really. He can source me fresh live peeler crab and rag and whatever else I need for the day, so yeah, and he's going to make my rigs up for me, so I don't really think I need a lot, but I think there's stuff here that I can definitely use on the day. Right, let's just shut this hood a minute so I don't get completely thrown out. Now what I do when I go fishing is I have this box that I've got all my stuff in. Oh, it's quite heavy because I've got lead weights in, and it's got all my stuff in that I fish with, but I'm just going to go through all this now because it's got loads of stuff here, you know, that I do for fishing around here that's not going to be useful to me, and I'm not going to do any more fishing now until this competition, so I'm just going to go through all this now. It's loaded with stuff. Let's see if I can put this down a little bit, this camera, so you can see it. Yeah, so so I've got my gloves in here. These are great. I use these for the congers, or you know, it stops the spikes going through. They're not bite proof, but they're pretty good gloves. But I've literally got all these booms, and what I tend to find with these booms is that yeah, they're great, they're self-made ones, but with the salt air and that, they corrode and these snap, so they're a bit of a pain. So I've learnt in time not to make too many up in one go. I use those for wrecking really. I've just got like a baiting needle here, double baiting needle, and some other bits and pieces. So I've got a T-bar here that I use. These are great, these boga grips, so just for handling fish. They've also got a set of scales on those as well, but they were quite expensive, but these are brilliant. You can actually hold the fish nicely, so whether I use them down there, they don't damage the fish at all. Right, let's go through, see what I've got here. Well, I've got line, I've got 2 sets of knives. Always nice to have the knives in a case, which I don't do, so I'll make sure I sharpen them up before I go. These, which are they look quite rusty and dirty, but they're great actually for you know, for getting the hooks out. So I've got my nice baiting spoon, which is handy for wrapping whole squid and whatever else. I'll be using that down at the competition, no doubt. I've just got stuff in here that I don't need. I've got a hook sharpener there, really handy to have. You know, I will reuse hooks, and I just sharpen them same as I do the lures. Just a little cheap thing on Amazon I use. So let's just go through here because I've got stuff in here that I don't really need. See, this is a travesty really. This is a lovely slow jig. that I got, and I don't know if you can see, look at the state of those hooks. They're all rusty, but they will sharpen up. They're still sharp, but I can get all that rust off with that thing. But yeah, really, you need to put your lures and all of that in a lure box. It's not a good idea just to leave them in the salt air and you know, you sometimes get waves over the side or whatever. It'll corrode that, and that will be no good. So you can clean all that up with a little bit of sandpaper will do that, or whatever. But the hook sharpener's fine. But let's go through the rest of the stuff here. Right, what else have I got in here? So I've got all these Savage Gear ones. See, they're okay. They're not damaged. It's just trying to get it all organised so I'm not losing anything. Look, I was looking for those the other day, these pop-up beads for the bream. So I'll put them to one side, perhaps put them in my box. I think I tend to be a little bit of a tackle hoarder. I've got stuff everywhere, and then I buy more stuff because I can't find one thing, and then I'll find it. So I've got these squid jigs that I've never ever used, so that will come in one time. What else have I got here? So I have these pots. That I've got. Let me come and show you. These only cheap. I think they're for more for the carp fishermen or whatever, but these are great. So inside here I've got my snap swivels, bead, and just normal swivels. So if ever I can snap off or whatever, I've got all this stuff ready. It's all here handy in like a little waterproof box. So I'll make sure I'll just top that up, make sure I've got everything that I need, you know, for this competition. It's got some really strong swivels and snap clips on here, which will be ideal for the taupe. And these are just normal ones I use for my normal fishing. Okay, so I've just gone through this, and what I've put back in here now is I've got sort of 6 or 7 red beads, which I put down that goes against the boom to stop the knot crushing into it. And I've got some of these, they do look a bit dirty, but there's nothing wrong with them. These fast snap swivels for sort of normal fishing, and I've got these heavier duty lock-in ones that I'm going to use for the taupe and the smooth hounds. So that box there really, oh yeah, and I've got a few little swivels here, mainline swivels. Right, so I've got 2 rolls of baiting elastic. I think I've got a heavier duty one in here, which might be as well. It's a bit fine, so that's more of a heavy duty one. And I've just got, well, just another roll, so I'll keep that in there so I know where that is, and I'll put these to one side. So I've got my booms, I've got that. I think I've got everything on that side of it. I'm going to put Mike's traces in here as well, even though he's going to make me some up, and then I'm just going to put a few random hooks in there. Probably for the smooth hounds I'll be fishing 6-0, and for the taupe 8 to 10-0, but I normally just fish like a meat hook, but I know Mike likes these circle hooks. I'm not really used a lot of them, but they're supposed to be really good, and I know they only get the fish in the scissor of the jaw, so I might go down that road, and I might make some pennel rigs up. That is 2 hooks, so I can fish that on 1 rod, so I might well do that. That just holds the bait on there much better. Now I've got a set of feathers here already with a lead weight made up on it. I think I've got to cut this down 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think I can fish 4 feathers in this competition, as long as I just do it with 1 rod. I'm not sure, I'll have to check on that. I might have to just cut them down so I've got 2 feathers on for bait. But yeah, that's already rigged up with a weight on, so what I'll do is I'll wrap that round that Celotex to so it's nice and safe, but I'll have that out ready to catch fresh mackerel while I'm out there. All I've got to put under that now is a pack of water and some just some cans of drink. So I'm not taking the dogs this year. The puppy will be a nightmare. Pip always barks at people, with bless her heart, but it just drives me crazy. And last year I slept on the boat and it wasn't pleasant. So yeah, in a nice hotel this year. Right, so I think I've got everything done ready now. So on Thursday the 9th it comes out to have jet washed down, just to get rid of the growth that's caused by the marina, and then the following Thursday I should be going, weather permitted, down to the Sea Angling Classic. So hopefully I shall get maybe a 2-part video of the fishing of the day, and yeah, hopefully I'll do a few Facebook and Instagram and Twitter posts of it up there, and try and do a little bit of video. It's not really my my normal thing that I like to do. I just like to do little videos of the day's fishing, but it's an exciting competition, and so I'm fishing for Lowrance, and it's fantastic to be involved. I know that the organisers, Ross, and you know, they've been working really hard to get this thing off the ground, and so has Navico. You know, they're sponsoring it. Lowrance, they're the main sponsors, so it should be fantastic, and it's a privilege to fish for them and meet the rest of the team up there again. As I say, I'm not going to take the dogs up there, but hopefully I should have some nice videos of the day, and yeah, so next video I think you'll see is me maybe in the lock and fishing the Sea Angling Classic. So have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching the video.